Right now on Fox 43 Featured, we're learning more about what led to the Franklin County shooting that left 2 state troopers injured, the latest on their conditions, and what we know about the suspects. And state leaders say they're taking new steps to make Pennsylvania's highways safer for truck drivers. We'll explain how. Plus, one little boy inspired a community to take a swing at childhood cancer. How Wesley's warriors are turning hope into action in this week's Health Smart Report. Thanks for joining us for Fox 43 Featured. I'm Robert Stover. For the next half hour, we're going to be highlighting some of the top stories of the week in our area. Now, the investigation continues into the Franklin County shooting that left 2 state troopers injured. Fox 43's Sydney Nauman has more information on how the incident unfolded and the suspects involved.
Troopers attempted to conduct a felony car stop, and as a result, there was a fierce gunfight that occurred, during which time 2 of our troopers were shot.
Robbery gone wrong. That's what led to 2 state police troopers being shot and a suspect being killed in Franklin County Wednesday night. At 6:15, police were dispatched to a retail theft at Dick's Sporting Goods in Guilford Township.
There was a large quantity of illegal drugs, paraphernalia, and cash found within that van. There was stolen merchandise found within that van.
Charging documents show the stolen merchandise totaled over $1,000. Officials say shortly after the report, multiple state police troopers identified and pursued the suspect's vehicle headed southbound on Interstate 81. Using spike strips, troopers brought the vehicle to a stop along Exit 3. 2 suspects, Amir Lauren Swift and Gianni Jada McGowan, both 21 and from Baltimore, immediately exited the vehicle and complied with law enforcement officials. However, the driver, 31-year-old Lamar Foy, also of Baltimore, resisted and at approximately 6:24 began firing at troopers.
He began firing on troopers from within the van, and as troopers positioned themselves to places of cover, he actually ran out the side door of the van and charged those troopers in an effort to shoot them and continued firing at them as he ran toward them.
Troopers Thomas Pack and Lucas Amorose were struck multiple times while exchanging gunfire. A third trooper, who has not been identified, also returned fire. The suspect was pronounced dead as a result of the exchange. In a matter of 10 minutes, Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens says the entire incident was over.
As the vehicle came down the ramp, went into the grass, and within moments, there was an exchange of gunfire. It all played out in less than probably a minute or a minute and a half.
10 minutes that now represent a different count, one that tracks impact.
Since becoming the commissioner of the state police in January of 2023, these 2 troopers represent the 7th and 8th troopers shot. Additionally, since August 7th across Pennsylvania, they represent the 8th and 9th law enforcement officers who have been shot across this Commonwealth.
A tally that continues to grow in Pennsylvania's record of violence against those sworn to protect.
Officials said they don't think this was an isolated incident, but rather a part of a larger crime pattern, which is what they will continue to investigate. Sydney Nauman, Fox 43 News.
A York County Fire Department will soon be equipping its command vehicles with bulletproof vests for firefighters. Fox 43's Matt Kleindon spoke with fire officials about why they're adding that extra layer of protection.
Amid a string of recent tragedies, one York County fire company will soon be getting new equipment.
We're just finding it more and more necessary to keep another line of protection for our firefighters.
The West Manchester Township Fire Department is set to receive 5 bulletproof vests like these after a Board of Supervisors vote on Friday. The department first looked at getting the vest after responding to the UPMC Memorial Hospital shooting this past February. Fire Chief Clifton Laughlin says the purchase aims to further protect his crew during active shooter situations.
When you get into a hospital or the schools or things like that where you have the potential a lot of victims, and it could take a little bit longer to get the shooter neutralized. And we are sending guys in. They'll be protected by police, but that's the only line of protection.
The fact that now we have to protect ourselves even more it's a little disconcerting.
Fire officials also cited a number of ambush attacks against firefighters that occurred in states like Idaho and New York. Lieutenant Chad Deerdorf says his crew nearly dealt with a similar incident in July when a man intentionally set fire to his home on South Highland Avenue and threatened firefighters with a gun.
My decision was to make sure everybody was behind apparatus. Again, the building's replaceable. I know that's not what homeowners would want to hear, but I can't replace firefighters if they're shot or if they're injured.
Fire officials say they want to keep their first responders safe as they work to protect the community.
Our motto has always been everybody goes home, and we want to keep it that way. So if I can get another level of protection for them, that's what I'll do.
The township expects to receive the Bulletproof vest by the end of the year. Matt Kleindens, Fox 43 News.
Voters will go to the polls in November to elect school board members in every school district in South Central Pennsylvania. A nonpartisan issues forum held by education leaders at Central Penn College in Enola was held to remind the community of the stakes of the elections for everyone in education. It comes after a cycle of controversy and debate over school board policies across South Central Pennsylvania dealing with cultural issues in schools. Attendees said they hope voters will choose school board members who can tune out distractions to focus on education.
Whether my classmates are engaged or not, everything that happens in school directly impacts them. So if you have certain members of a board that have alternate agendas or are not there for the correct reasons, it impacts the students.
Election day is November 4th for school board races in every district in South Central Pennsylvania. State Attorney General Dave Sunday is encouraging people with unused Iron Hill Brewery gift cards to dispute the purchases with their credit card company. He also says people should consider filing a complaint with the State Consumer Protection Bureau. This comes after the restaurant chain abruptly filed for bankruptcy and closed all of its locations. Sunday says his office is, quote, closely monitoring, end quote, the situation and has already received multiple complaints about gift cards and loyalty program balances. And the Lancaster City Council is considering a proposal for new rules on regulating data centers in the city. Many people in the community oppose the $6 billion data center currently in development. Some residents say they are concerned about energy usage of the facilities and the rising electricity prices. The zoning change would specifically define data centers and allow them in industrial zones. The proposed rules require data centers to meet state air quality standards and make a good faith effort to maximize clean energy use.
I believe there is an opportunity for a number of different technology jobs and other indirect economic benefits for the community, and we just have to make sure that we're balancing that against good environmental quality.
The city says it doesn't know whether or not the ordinance would apply to the data center currently in development. And the Shapiro administration says it's taking the first major step in decades to make Pennsylvania's highways safer for truck drivers and for everyone who shares the road. Fox 43's Natalie Coranda shows us how new parking spaces and signage could change travel for thousands of drivers.
For the first time in decades, PennDOT is taking action to help keep truck drivers safe both on and off the road.
We truly are the Keystone State when it comes to freight movement. You see it in the number of trucks on our roadways, the growth of our ports, the warehouses appearing across the state, and the huge economic impact of freight coming into and through our Commonwealth.
Officials say the shortage of safe truck parking hasn't kept pace with the high volume of freight traffic across the Commonwealth, forcing some drivers to illegally stop along shoulders, ramps, and other unsafe areas.
The Pennsylvania State Police had investigated approximately 4,000 reportable crashes involving commercial motor vehicles. Too often, a significant contributing factor to commercial vehicle crashes on our highways are either fatigued or drivers who fall asleep.
To address that, PennDOT announced 1,202 new truck parking spots at 133 state-owned locations, including interstate ramps and way stations like the one they revealed today along I-83 South in York County.
Hours of service rules require drivers to stop and rest, but when they can't find a legal place to stop to park, they face an impossible choice: park illegally or keep driving in violation of the rules.
For truck drivers, locating one of these new PennDOT signs in designated parking areas is simple. On the 511 PA website, navigate the traffic tab. You can now click public truck parking to see existing locations, and as new sites open, they'll be added right here.
As our area grows in population, so does the needs for goods and commodities. Not only does this impact how our roads and communities function, but also how the transportation demand impacts the quality of life for all of our residents.
State leaders say these improvements will continue through 2026.
Because safer conditions for truck drivers means safer roadways for all of us.
Natalie Coranda, Fox 43 News.
Well, it was a day on the golf course with a much bigger mission. Families and friends came together in York County to swing their clubs and raise awareness for one of the rarest and deadliest childhood cancers. Fox 43's Amy Lutz has that story in this week's Health Smart Report.
It wasn't just about birdies and bogeys at Regents Glen Country Club in York County. It was about building hope.
Thank you again for supporting such a great cause.
Wesley's Warriors hosted their first annual golf outing, raising money to fight DIPG, a rare and aggressive brain cancer that mostly affects children.
Last July, in 2024, our son passed away. He had a smile on his face, and he had a smile on his face from well before his diagnosis all the way through.
Luke and Marcy Beam say their 4-year-old son Wesley endured a 17-month-long battle before the disease robbed him of the ability to walk, speak, and eventually breathe. They say a child diagnosed with DIPG today has the same survival rates as they did in the 1960s, and that something must change.
We are here for two reasons: to make sure the next family that gets this terrible disease in this area can be supported like we were, and to put money towards research to hopefully stop and eradicate this horrible and currently terminal disease.
Despite there being no cure, dozens of golfers came out to the sold-out event to support the family of a little boy who was taken too soon.
He captured a lot of people's hearts, and it didn't take long to do so.
And they say they'll keep swinging and swinging until the day a cure is found. The Beam family said they are already planning next year's event and hope to have even more participants joining in the fight. With your Health Smart Report, Amy Lutz, Fox 43 News.
A York County woman found new purpose after beating breast cancer. How she's using her experience to help others in this week's On the Bright Side. A York County breast cancer survivor didn't just beat the disease, she found a new purpose. In this week's On the Bright Side, Fox 43's Gabrielle Mediak shows how a Hanover native found beauty in her battle as she helps other women still in the fight.
Much like the fish in Tammy Tasker's pond, she just keeps swimming.
Pretty good. Yeah. I just keep moving.
That's been her mantra for more than a decade now after being diagnosed with breast cancer.
But I would also visualize Pac-Man eating this tumor up, just getting it out of my body. And I know that sounds really kind of crazy, but I would just visualize this thing just being completely gone.
As a single mom at the time, she was determined to beat the disease.
My daughter just had me, so I was going to fight with anything I could.
During her battle, Tammy underwent chemotherapy, radiation, and then reconstruction.
I had no regrets like that. Once I made that decision, I didn't look back.
She's currently doing well, getting yearly checkups and continuing to be an advocate for early detection.
I kept kind of pushing it off, and I really shouldn't have. And now I know, like, if you have any concern whatsoever, you need to get checked out.
She's also raising awareness for the group, which took away some of the financial worry for her during an already difficult time.
I was so blown away by these folks.
Over the past 2 decades, Pink Out Charities has helped more than 500 local women undergoing treatment for cancer.
This charity stays in our community. This is for York and Adams County women. That's huge.
The group covers things like rent, groceries, utilities, which for Tammy was a game changer. So she decided to pay it forward.
I put myself where these women could be right now and the way that I felt. So it's more about beauty.
She leaned into her love of nature, and with some encouragement from her daughter, she started creating floral arrangements for others who are fighting.
She let me know that, hey, you're still beautiful. Just because you don't have any hair, it doesn't take away your beauty. So with the flowers, it's more about giving. Like, I want to give something for these women to see the beauty in the flowers.
She's even organized an upcoming fundraiser called Pink October to give back to the charity, where those flowers will also be on display.
And that Pink October event is happening October 25th at the Hanover Elks on Forney Avenue. It's going to feature local small businesses, artists, live music, and all proceeds go directly to Pink Out charities. As always, if you have a bright idea or something positive you'd like to share, send me an email at gmediac@fox43.com. On the bright side, I'm Gabrielle Mediac.
In Harrisburg, the state capitol's water fountains turned pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The yearly dyeing of the fountains is run by the Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition, who says the fountain's purpose is to spark conversations about women's health. The coalition works with breast cancer survivors and patients alike year-round, and their founder says they want to stay vigilant in detecting breast cancer.
We want to make sure that women are diagnosed early when breast cancer is so treatable and 90% curable if you detect it early.
And this is the 20th consecutive year that the Capitol Fountain has turned pink for October. The Lampeter-Strasburg cheer team is getting some special guests on the sidelines, how their loved ones are helping build school spirit. And the Lampeter-Strasburg cheer team will have some extra spirit this week thanks to a few special guests. In this week's Sports Spotlight, Fox 43's Lauren Bradford has a behind-the-scenes look at how the cheer parents are preparing for their sideline debuts.
During homecoming each year, the Lampeter-Strasburg cheer team doubles in size.
I think they're kind of just trained to do this. They're like, oh yes, every year we're going to have this game where you're going to be cheering.
Each cheerleader selects a special person to share the sideline with.
I like seeing everyone come in together. Every single cheerleader has a special person that they cheer with, which I think is awesome. So it just seeing them interact with their daughter or their son. It's really great just to see that.
It's super fun. I mean, it's embarrassing for them, which is great, but it's also fun for us and making special memories. We've done this a couple years now, and it's always a good time.
A fun time for all, even if there is a learning curve for the loved ones.
It's kind of stressful sometimes because they always don't know what we're doing, but it's definitely hilarious, in my opinion. I think it's so funny because they don't know what they're doing.
It's really fun to see the roles reversed and to have her, show Dad what to do and laugh at him for not doing it right.
The trial and error helps provide an appreciation for the work that goes into each routine.
So you're going down and up? How does that work?
They don't understand how hard, a lot of people don't, but once they start doing it, then they're like, oh, this is a lot to remember. And every year they don't usually remember it. Hopefully they'll remember Friday, but I don't know if they will.
It's really easy. I don't know why they complain so much. Obviously, what they do is pretty easy, just a couple arm raises and it's nothing. No, it's obviously very athletic and it's really fun to see them in their element.
The quality time together beats out any initial nerves from the parents.
When you first get out there, you're nervous. You're in front of a bunch of people, you know you're going to embarrass yourself. but the crowd reaction just makes it all worth it, because everyone's laughing at you and with you, and you're having a great time and cheering on the team. So the nerves wash away once you get that first chant out of the way.
Go Big Blue! Lauren Bradford, Fox 43.
This past weekend, the York Revs made history as the first Atlantic League team to capture back-to-back championships. And this week, York Revs fans filed back into Wellspan Park for one last time in 2025 for a championship-worthy celebration. Although the players were gone, the fans came together alongside manager Rick Forney to reminisce and recognize the Revs' success.
It's bittersweet because when you went on the road, a lot of the guys flew home from there. I think the bus ride back to York had 8 players on it. That was it. So to be able to catch up with everybody a week later, and we're all still sort of buzzing from what happened, that's what makes these nights so much fun.
The fans partied like the players, raising a glass to another successful season as the Revs end the year on top. York County Libraries held their first 24-hour fundraiser, why the library's visitors see their services as priceless after the break. This week, York County Libraries hosted Literacy for Change. It's the first ever 24-hour online giving event. Money raised will help the libraries continue to support their communities. This week, Fox 43's Alex Cawley showcased some of the people who have been able to benefit in different ways.
Henry is very much into Transformers, just recently got into Dogman. Aaron really likes a book called How Big is Big? The Care Bears, Goldilocks, and the Three Bears. So that is what we are very much stuck on right now. And that is an every night must read, or we don't go to sleep.
Many parents know exactly what Andrea and I means. Some of you have probably memorized your kid's favorite book. That might be a little bit harder for Nye, as her sons have both completed the York County Library's 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program.
We use some wonderful software called Beanstack that gives families the opportunity in order to chart their reading and to have this great record of what they've done over the years.
Henry, we stopped counting at 12,000. With Aaron, we did stop counting after 1,000 just because there's so many different people reading to him that it's hard to keep track. You'll see that out of the 12,000 books, there may be only like 5,000 different books. And I think it's called The Book No One Ever Read. I probably read that one about 300 times.
That's hardly the only program that keeps her family from coming back.
Libraries throughout the county would have like a sensory time, and you could come and play with like beads and Play-Doh. So it got you traveling to the different libraries in the different communities. We also have done Lego Day at Crates Creek. That's always a big one.
But whether it's one of the many programs offered through the county or just simply checking out a book, the libraries help with something that money can't buy.
You have to put everything else away and snuggle up with your baby and read them a book. And those are moments you can never get back. But once you have them, they're yours forever.
Alex Cawley, Fox 43.
And that's going to do it for Fox 43 Featured. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Have a good one.